Good evening, inferior human beings. Welcome to the 11th episode of Dialogue Tree. I cannot believe we've been doing this for 11 episodes. My name is Daniel Padilla. I'm, of course, as always, joined by my wonderful friend, Mateo Peterson, a.k.a. Matthew Bixby Peterson.
As always, thank you.
And we're excited to be recording this tonight for all of you and for Cam, of course.
Of course.
It was good. Matthew, was good with your life, man. How's this week? How's the new year treating you?
Honestly, I've just been enjoying being outside because it's gotten up to like 70 degrees in winter here, which is insane. Yeah. I don't know how that's allowed. So I've just been trying to make the most of it because it's going back down to like 20 degrees or whatever tomorrow.
Oh God, really? As early as tomorrow?
Yeah, it was just like anomalously amazing for 2 days, and now it's going back to being normal winter stuff.
Right. What have you been up to these days?
I mean, I got out. I biked really far. I biked to the beach and just went around there.
Yeah.
Just walked outside. Yeah. And I just eat outside and, be in the sun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it sounds quite nice.
And besides that, I don't know, reading a little. I started reading the Silmarillion. Is that how you say it even? It doesn't say in the book.
I mean, I've always thought that's how you say it.
Okay, yeah. It's very lore heavy. It just is lore, I guess.
Okay, so it's not quite like a story.
Yeah, because it wasn't really written as a book. It was written as a working background for the book, kind of. So it doesn't really have a connecting plot line for a lot of it.
Yeah, okay, interesting. So it's mostly like a compendium of
Yeah. So it can be kind of dry at times, but that's like me watching the director's commentary and then complaining it's taken away from the movie, you know what I mean? I don't have to read it.
Of course.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, and I'm glad I picked it up.
Right. How long is that? Like a good few hundred pages, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's long.
That's how I felt. I mean, I read The Fellowship of the Ring a while ago. It was a good 5 years ago. But that's kind of how I felt about it. It was quite the first half was pretty lore heavy, right? It was just explaining a lot about with the families and whatever, where everyone was kind of from and stuff.
Yeah, and if I remember right, at the end of the third book, there's extra lore after the story ends.
Oh, right. There's
if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, there's a bunch of appendices. That's right.
Yeah.
Cool. I haven't finished reading the Two Towers. I don't know. I've kind of fell out. It's a thing. I don't know that I said this in the pod before, but it's a thing, right? I'll go 2 months that I'm super into reading, and I'll read a few things, right? And then there'll be a couple of months that I just don't read at all, and I'll be playing a lot of video games. And I'm in that stage right now. I'm the stage where I've just been playing a lot of games because, of course, I got Shovel Knight for Christmas, so I've been playing that. And then I got my Switch back, so I've just been kind of tackling a lot of the games that I already had, Mario Odyssey, and I'll always play fucking Blazing Chrome and stuff every now and then. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I unfortunately couldn't get myself to finish the Two Towers before I got into playing games again. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm only 100 pages shy of finishing it, so it should not take long.
I was talking to Cam today, and I remembered about Dune. I read Dune probably a year ago now, maybe 7 months to a year, and it's excellent, man. It's so good. I love the universe of it. I was just thinking because it's also one of those things where it's super super long. I read the unabridged Dune, and I don't know. I don't know what's removed.
I didn't even know they made a bridge version of that. It must be quite dense. Yeah.
Well, I'm just assuming because it says unabridged on it. So I was assuming that they're referencing the existence of an abridged version. But
right.
I don't know.
Is there a movie?
It's very cool. And I might read the second someday.
It's a huge series. Isn't it? It's a huge series, isn't it? Quite long.
It is. I just did a little research online, and the consensus was that the first two books are the most well written and well connected, and the rest of it is just kind of expanded universe. It's okay, but it's definitely not as good as the first two.
Just for the sake of expanding it. Yeah, I get it.
And there's a movie coming out, so I'm excited to see that.
Oh, so it's coming out. Okay, yeah. I thought I saw commercials for it, and I wasn't quite sure if it was a movie that already existed or if it's a movie that was coming out.
Yeah. So there is an older one, but it's apparently really quite bad.
Right. I believe it.
Yeah.
So there's a new one coming out. Is this like a remake or a reboot or a sequel?
I'm assuming it looks like the plot of Dune 1 to me.
Okay.
From the trailer, but who knows? It might suck.
Yeah, it's always a gamble with movies in general, but most also with movies based on other media. It's always a gamble with those.
Yeah, sometimes they'll just change the story. I heard that is a big problem with the original Dune movie is they just changed the story and it just kind of wrecks it.
Yeah, and then they just keep the name to like get fans of the original of the book just to like go see it and whatever. And when it doesn't really have much to do with it. I do want to see, speaking of movies that are coming out soon, I'm dying to see, I was gonna say Ghostbusters, but that's not coming out. Well, yeah, I do want to see Ghostbusters, but that's not out until.
You're gonna say Bad Boys.
Yeah, of course. I was gonna say Bad Boys. Yeah, I mean that's what I meant to say.
No, I knew that was definitely what you were gonna say because you keep talking about it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Have we talked about this? Have you seen any?
I know you really like Bad Boys. I have not seen Bad Boys 1 or whatever, the original.
Ah, shit, dude. We should have seen them. I think it would have been a good time to watch with you and everyone at the apartment.
Yeah. I never. It's never on my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair, man. It's like a Michael Bay movie, and like Michael Bay has earned himself quite a reputation over the last like decade or so. So like, you're not missing out on much, you know. I think the first one is like a cool like action movie, right? It's like a cool buddy cop movie. It is funny, but like it's more about like it's more action oriented, I would say. The second one is just straight out like insane, man. It's like a lot longer. It's comedy in it. It's a lot heavier. It's just insane, man. Like the set pieces and everything. It's just a crazy movie to see. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun. And
Will Smith he was in the originals too, right? Because he's in the new one.
Yeah, he was in the originals back when he was like a hot thing still.
Yeah, when people liked him more.
Which is interesting because he's always kind of played like the really like, you know, like the good guy kind of deal, which he does in Bad Boys, but like it has a little bit of a twist. Like in Bad Boys, he like swears and he's like trigger happy and everything. So like he's one of the good guys, but like he has that like sort of like a twist to the good guy. You know what I mean?
It's not really a classic Will Smith thing.
Right. The issue is I know that's coming out. Like in the States, at least, I know it's coming out this weekend. I haven't seen any promotions for it here. Like I'm already seeing promotional material for Birds of Prey, even, which doesn't come out until like February, and I haven't seen anything about Bad Boys. So I don't know when they'll bring it over here, is what I mean.
That's true. It's kind of finicky when movies are released at different places at different times.
Right. Especially with like, I don't know how popular Bad Boys is these days. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how hyped people are to see it. I don't think it's meant to be like a huge blockbuster type movie, especially considering that it's being released early in the year. So I don't really know when they'll bring it over because I honestly haven't. I haven't been to the movies in a while, so I don't know if like in the previews of the movies they've shown it. But I don't know, like even fucking Gemini Man had a bunch of posters all over the city before it started. Yeah, that movie that happened.
What is Will Smith like doing these days?
I don't know, dude. I was just gonna bring up. Apparently, there's a movie called Spies in Disguise that just came out, and apparently it's like bombed or something. Which it's odd because it's Will Smith and Tom Holland. Well, it is animated.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're just voice actors.
Yeah, they're just voice actors. Is it? I think, and it looks like it might be the same people who do the fucking Minions stuff.
Well, they're not that talented, so
yeah. But yeah, apparently it's not doing very well in the box office.
Will Smith, remember he had that movie where he like tried to push his son to be like a leading role, and he's just not like
that movie
a trained or ready actor.
When they're in like a planet or something.
Oh, you know what? That's also the thing in Gemini Man, but yeah, the one where they like crash land.
Right.
I completely forgot his son was also like a lead in Gemini Man.
He's in that? I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah. He's like, from what I saw in the trailer, he's like kind of like a Solid Snake deal where he's like a clone bred from Will Smith's DNA, and like they have to fight, but they'll probably like team up in the end or something. I don't know. It seems stupid, but I don't know. Jaden Smith is a pretty bad actor. I don't think it's really his fault.
Right.
Like it's definitely Will Smith is like trying to push that upon his son.
Right. He's been trying to push it, and like he was cute and whatever in the Pursuit of Happiness or whatever because he was like a child, right? But,
yeah.
Like, I guess it's not hard to like pull off being a cute kid.
Yeah, people have pretty low standard for kid actors. Right. Not to say that there aren't good ones. Stranger Things
of course.
Nailed that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. He's just not very good. You see the things he tweets too. It's like he really wants people to like him, it seems, or at least think he's smart.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they make a lot of memes of like people being high and reading fucking Jaden Smith tweets and stuff. Yeah. No, to be honest, I don't keep up with
it. But it doesn't seem to have any self-awareness.
Right.
No, I don't either. I just see the tweets people send out and the general
It doesn't
vibe
seem
of the situation.
it doesn't seem to be self-aware at all. Like the kid seems to be taking everything he tweets very seriously. That is true.
Very strange. I feel bad because I definitely said stupid things when I was like 13 or whatever.
Right.
Not everyone is making fun of me on the internet.
Yeah. No, yeah, Will Smith, man. He seems these days he seems to be in a lot of movies that just like exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he does the job.
Right. But there's just I don't know, like, oh, there's a new Will Smith movie coming out. I remember like about like 2 decades ago, whenever he was in a movie, it was like a huge deal. But now it's just, oh, that's the movie, and oh, there's Will Smith in it. I'm probably never gonna see that because I don't care about anything about that movies, and I just don't. And then the movies just come and they go, and no one ever talks about them again. Like that movie about like concussions about in the NFL and whatever. Like who saw that movie? I don't know a single person who's seen that movie.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the movie is literally called Concussion, and it's about concussions in the NFL. Is what it is. Like
I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, and it came out a while ago. It was 2015. I'm seeing here, and then he was in that weird like that Netflix movie with the blue person.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's called.
It was in a Netflix movie.
It's called Bright, and it's just he's like a cop, and there's like another blue dude. Not another. There's a blue dude in the poster, like right beside Will Smith. I understand. I don't know. I could totally be speaking out of my ass right now, but I understand it's supposed to be like allegorical, right? Like the blue dude is supposed to like represent race and whatever. You know what I mean? It touches upon like a lot of like racial issues. I think that's the whole deal. And I think people
couldn't it just be about Will Smith being black? Why does he have to be blue?
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Right? That's what people made fun of it because it seemed to like play like really like in your face, right? Like you have Will Smith and then you have this random blue dude.
So
of course, it's a fucking Netflix movie, so whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
A live action Mulan is coming out. That's gonna be weird.
Excellent. I was watching a video the other day. I don't know who by. I think it was this dude called Nerdstalgic. I follow a couple of YouTubers who like do reviews on movies and stuff like that, and I can't quite remember who it was by. I think it's Nerdstalgic. He was talking about how all of Disney's strategies over the last few years seems to be a lot of like seems to be like almost entirely intertextuality, by which he means like just basically taking advantage of people's nostalgia. You know what I mean? Just like making like throwbacks to like, you know, especially in the live action remakes or whatever. All they do is like throwback to like scenes in the animated movies, almost like frame by frame, just to get people like, oh, I remember that. I used to love that. And then people will just go see it because of that shit.
Right. Yeah. I think if you are going to live action a Disney movie, Mulan is a more reasonable choice because, like, I understand comedy Eddie Murphy is not the most sensitive representation of Asian culture.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. That is not what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say because it has a bunch of like epic like action scenes and whatever.
No. I think the choreography will be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is the okay reason for remaking it, but I don't think we're gonna like get Pocahontas remastered where it's not racist towards Native Americans. So it's like I think it's just for money, you know. It's definitely just because it's popular.
Right. True. That makes sense. I don't know how much I want to touch upon this because I believe this is a topic that we will touch upon when the philosopher is on the show. Mm-hmm. But the dude also talks about how that is like an issue with the most recent Star Wars movie, right? There's just like a bunch of like fans. There's just the argument that he makes is that the most recent Star Wars movie seems to just be like a bunch of fan service. I don't know that you would agree with that. I don't know if you saw the movie, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I think I would say that it's pandering is a better word, but it seems like the movie is very concerned with writing out the things that happened in the second movie that people disagreed with.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know if you saw this, but there is this Asian girl in the second movie, and she like shows up, and they do this like whole filler adventure with her, right?
Nice.
And people were like, "This is stupid," and then they got very upset, and they like harassed the actress and whatever.
Oh shit, dude! Because of course,
she becomes like one of like the main gang in like the second movie, and she kisses Finn and saves his life. Nice. And in the third movie, they just have a shot where she's like, I have to go like work on the radar here, so I'm gonna stay back at base, and she's just not in the movie
anymore.
You know, like
she's just never on it again.
Yeah, they just have written her out. They just don't want to deal with it.
Nice. That sounds excellent.
I mean, that's one word for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still have to see it, and I will try to see it before we get Spencer on the show for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely share more about it later on.
If that asshole ever we get him to ever come on the show because
it's literally your fault he wasn't on last time we asked him.
Well, yeah, but then we. No, you're right. It is my bad. You're right. Fuck. Yeah, was good. Otherwise,
speaking of internet backlash, I'm kind of curious now that the whole thing has blown over. What do you feel about like the whole pro Jared situation?
Damn, dude.
Is that too much?
Holy shit, that is quite a compromising question.
All right, if that's too loaded, I won't.
No, dude, I'll take it.
Yeah, I just know you like watched him before it all happened, but I never really like was a fan of him, so I was curious about what you thought of it.
No, I never like kept up a lot with him. I don't think I was ever even like subscribed to him. I don't know. His videos would just show up like on recommended, and sometimes he would make videos on things that I would like be into. And I think he made it. I don't remember how I learned of his existence. It may have been around the time that I started to play Dragon Quest VIII because he had videos about it, and I was curious. I don't know. I thought the game was good, and before I bought it, even I guess I wanted to see what people thought about it and whatever. So I think that's kind of how I. But yeah, no, his whole thing just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I loved all the memes about it, right? Like how he's like
I know,
whatever. It was kind of funny. I mean, it must have been horrible for him, to be honest. But I don't know. I saw the video that he like released. I don't know if you ever saw it. The 40.
I saw his like response video. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah. Right. He
looks very like broken. He's like in a hoodie and he looks like he's been crying for 3 days.
Yeah. He looks like he's been like fucking bitch slapped by life in general.
Yeah, he looks like
this entire time. No, I mean, I don't know, dude. Whatever, right? I think it's creepy that he had that whole like network of like sharing nudes and whatever.
Yeah.
I find that creepy. Apparently everyone around him, like his wife or partner or whatever the fuck, they were all aware of this. So I guess that's whatever, right? Like I think it's creepy, but like if everyone involved is aware of what's happening, then they can do whatever they want to do, right? Like whatever makes them happy. Is so that everyone seemed to know, right? Everyone who was involved seemed to know what was going on. So like he wasn't keeping anything behind anyone's back. He also said something about how like those kids that like released the information and whatever, they all like said that they were of appropriate age or whatever, I think.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember how that went, but like he also mentioned that like the kids, whoever these kids were, they went to like the fucking Game Grumps before they went to anyone else, which I think that's just weird, man. You know what I mean? Like if you were involved with like a fucking pedophile
scandal,
yeah, why wouldn't you just go to like the authorities, like actual authorities, before you fucking go to the Game Grumps? Like what are the Game Grumps going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really count on ever catching any of his material again. But I don't know. Whatever he said on his response video seemed to like make sense, and I think the dude's a little bit creepy. I mean, I don't think he consciously, you know what I mean? It seems to me, I don't want to like pass like a full judgment on this, but like from what I could tell, it seemed to me that he consciously didn't mean to do anything he was being accused of. You know what I mean?
Right. He's just like stupid, not creepy.
Yeah. Fucking pro Jared. Those memes were insane.
I know. No, I was just thinking about it today. I was like, after everything is like settled down, it was pretty brutal. Like people were just watching his subscriber count go down on like Twitch.
Right.
And they would celebrate whenever he like hit a milestone of lower. You know what I mean?
No way, for real?
It was a real witch hunt.
Yeah, holy shit, dude. That's awfully funny, I guess. Was it? I don't know. Were you into the Game Grumps when the whole JonTron thing happened? I wasn't.
No, it was before my time of even knowing about them, really.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know. I was just curious to see if you had like how that experience. I don't know how after JonTron said whatever he said during that interview, how people like took to it. Because of course that was like such a huge mystery. Yeah, right. I guess I'm curious as to how that actually played. He was still doing Game Grumps when that happened, wasn't he? I guess I don't know.
I prefer Danny anyway, so it's okay.
No, I do too. I think John is. I've seen some of his older videos and they're entertaining and whatever. I think he's entertaining, but I just find Game Grumps to be a lot more wholesome with Danny on it. Like I feel like the Game Grumps that I've listened to with JonTron, the older Game Grumps, it just seems to be them. Like the comedy seems to be focused a lot around them just like arguing with each other, which I don't quite I don't find quite as entertaining as just, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would say both Aaron and John's like content has improved in quality because of them split, or after at least. I can't, I guess, say because of, but it definitely wasn't a bad move for either of them.
Yeah.
And they kind of addressed it. They did the Star Wars dance together.
Yeah, right. Where it seems like they're in good terms with each other and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Pro Jared, just if you're gonna like be doing that and like not anonymously, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna use your status in that position, then you're just kind of being irresponsible, if not predatory. And I think he deserved most of what he got.
Yeah, that is true. That is one thing that I didn't consider. You're right. He is a person who has that going on, right? He is like an internet personality and whatever, with like however many subscribers he has. So whenever someone in that position does something like this, is always weird, right? Because you can't really know if he's like taking advantage of his like position as an internet celebrity or personality.
Yeah, if it was like if it was someone else's forum, if it wasn't like the Pro Jared nudes forum, I'd be like, okay, maybe this was an overreaction, but I mean, he made that page and disclosed who he was. So
and everyone knows, like, you know what I mean? Like his audience, man. Like I don't know. There's bound to be a bunch of kids in his audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're right. No, that definitely is a good point. You're definitely right. Fucking Pro Jared, man. Speaking of YouTube people, I was watching a video. I don't know if you have you heard of 24 Frames of Nick?
Oh, I've been recommended the videos. Haven't watched them.
Yeah, he released a video, which is why I asked on the group chat today if anyone had seen the Captain Underpants movie, because he made a video on it today. He released a video on it today, which I thought was really, really good. The movie is excellent, man. I think it's quite good. And I guess did you read the books growing up at all?
I did. I had one of the books when I was very young.
Yeah, nice. I don't think I actually read any of the actual Captain Underpants. I had the weird spinoff that came out, Super Diaper Baby. I had that one.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was funny, whatever, when I was like in the fucking, 3rd or 4th grade or whatever. So I never read any of the books, but like I was into the movie because I like animated movies, and I watched it sometime during 2018, I believe, whenever it came out. It was on Netflix for a bit. I don't know if it still is, but I had a good time with it, man. It's weird because potty humor in animated movies is just like crass, but because it is a Captain Underpants movie, and because there is just so much heart like behind the character, I don't know. It's very like they do it in a very like relatable way. You know what I mean? Because the main characters, of course, are these two kids, and they're written really, really well. You know what I mean? And so like when these kids are laughing about like potty humor, it reminds me of when I was that age laughing about potty humor, and not just like potty humor for the sake of not being able to write better jokes, if that makes any sense. It makes it relatable as opposed to like of course they're making a fart joke because kids and laugh at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always liked the book when I was younger, but when the movie came out, I just was like, well, this is a children's movie. I never even considered it a viable film to be watched.
No, dude, you'd be surprised, man. I actually thought it's honestly one of my favorite animated movies of the last decade, I would say. And it's
okay.
Yeah, I felt like bringing it up because it is true. Like the dude on YouTube goes around saying like not a lot of people seem to have like paid a lot of attention to it. Like even if you like look for reviews on IMDb or whatever, it has like average rating or whatever. I don't know how much you care about that, but just for some context, I guess. It does have like an average rating on IMDb and whatever, but I do think there's a lot of heart behind it, right? It's so like relatable. It just, I don't know. It reminded me a lot of like when I was a child and stuff. And I think that's kind of valuable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bring it up because I wanted to like recommend everyone out there listening, just consider it. I think it's a fun movie. It's funny. It's cute.
Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe I'll see it sometime. I don't know if it's still on Netflix or whatever, but
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's not something I think about. It's not like in the cultural zeitgeist, I guess.
Right, exactly. It just kind of came and went.
Yeah.
And even for me, true. Like I remember watching it and like I remember loving it, but then I just kind of like forgot about it until I saw this dude's video today, which actually made me curious to watch it again. Yeah, I definitely liked it a lot better than fucking Boss Baby.
Boss Baby. Oh, right, that's a movie.
That's a movie. I think it's decent. I like pretty much anything that Alec Baldwin is in. I don't know. This is kind of like I'm glad I watched it, but like I could have also just lived my entire life happy without having watched.
Right, of course.
Yeah, dog.
I do have something I forgot to talk about because I don't know. Just we had Resta on last week.
Okay.
Jordan was, going on about One Piece. You can't get him to stop talking about One Piece.
Roared and Jesta?
I'll fit it in now. I have our very first album review.
Oh shit, excellent.
And the reason I'm even talking about it is not just because of like the physical content of the album, but I had just not really been paying attention to music a lot, like critically. Like I would listen to the background when I'm like doing something, but it was like, like lo-fi background music. I can't even remember how long since I just sat down and did nothing else
but listen to
like
the
be
album.
present and listen to the album.
Right.
And that was just like such a rediscovery for me. I don't know. It was relaxing and eye-opening about the role of music in my life, I guess, to not sound
that's interesting.
pretentious.
No, not at all. I think it's interesting because you're right. I don't know when the last time it was since I like sat down to just listen to an album, like, you know what I mean? Like beginning to end and just like taking it in, So
the album is by the band Glass Beach. It's called the first Glass Beach album. It's their first album.
I love that. It's very it just tells you what you're going into, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's and it's definitely weird. It's definitely a weird album. It's like a very experimental in that they'll change the like kind of the genre of the instruments that are playing the melodies mid-song, like rapid fire many times, but it all kind of works. It never feels like jarring. It's like intentionally ridiculous and playful in a kind of weird way. So I would say if you're interested at all, just listen to the first song and you'll know if you're gonna like it or not, because it's just as weird as the rest of the album.
Right. No, that's fair. When was this released?
Last year, kind of late, like mid 2019. So it's pretty fresh. And this is
how did you
I don't know how like popular it is, but let me check. Let me just see. I saw it on YouTube. That was recommended on YouTube. YouTube video has a little under 20,000 views. So it's, it's not that popular, I guess.
Yeah, I get it. Right.
It's on Bandcamp.
Right. Matthew Bandcamp Peterson.
But yeah, I would say it's like a B+ and give it a listen if you're interested in some like weird indie punk experimental mix.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, the main reason I brought it up is just the act of listening to music is really different than like listening to music and doing anything else, really. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. No, I don't remember. You're right. I don't remember when the last time it was that I like sat to like actually listen to an album. I was doing that a lot back when I was doing like a lot more jump rope, because I would like listen to music while I did that. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, damn it, I forgot. You did mention that you were going to talk about an album, and I forgot to come up with like things to say. So I may sound a little bit like an asshole because I'm like kind of improvising right now.
Okay.
But I don't know, one of the albums, and I've heard it before, but one of the albums that I like listened to a lot over the past year was Cardboard Castles by Watsky. Are you familiar?
I'm aware. I guess familiar is not the right word.
Yeah, you were aware. I liked it a lot because dude just seems very genuine. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a lot into rap or hip hop, and I've tried to like dabble into like a lot of like whatever like the more popular stuff is nowadays. Like I've tried to listen to fucking Chans, and I've tried to listen to whatever that other guy is with the album that says "Damn" on the cover. I forget his name.
Oh, Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar, yeah. Like I've tried to listen to their stuff, and it's like fine, right? It's like competent, and I understand why people would like it. It's just not something that like will keep me coming back to it, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this Watsky album, I don't know if it's a sense of humor or whatever. I listen to this guy, and it just reminds me of, it's just someone that I feel like I'd like to hang out with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I listen to like his songs and his lyrics and everything, it just seems like he just seems like someone that I'd like to like hang out with, someone that I'd like to be friends with. Beyond that, I don't know. A lot of his songs just like hit, right? A lot of his songs I find kind of relatable and stuff, and there is a lot of like sense of humor in some of his songs too.
Right. I totally get that.
Yeah, I like that he's like independent, so like he can literally do whatever he wants with his songs, right? It doesn't seem to be like a lot of like a lot of like production behind it, except for what he wants to do with the song. So I find it quite interesting. And I know I heard his subsequent album, whose name I can't quite remember, and it was good too. I liked it a lot. I don't come back to it as much as I come back to Cardboard Castles. He did release a single sometime in the past month or two, I think, which I thought was really, really good. And I can't remember the name of it, but if anyone is interested, I would definitely recommend checking out his latest single. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that. One of the reasons, and I had forgotten about this till you said that I even like was more willing to check out this album was because on their YouTube channel, it's like they have other videos. Like there's a video of the guy playing Mario 64 and like killing the baby penguin. Like there's other shit here. Like it really just feels like someone's YouTube channel, not like a Vivo like or whatever.
Band so
I don't know. It has like a little more personality.
Right, and that's right. That's exactly like Watsky did a lot of like all his videos are on YouTube, right? Like none of his videos I don't think have ever been like released on like like MTV or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. And they're all on like his own channel. And he used to I remember learning of his existence. I came upon this video called White Kid Raps Fast or whatever. And it was him, right? It was him with like a microphone and a camera and just like rapping really fast for like a minute or so. And I saw this like a long time ago, right? I must have seen this like around 2009, 2010 or some shit like that. So I thought that was cool, right? He just seems like a genuine artist who's like that kind of deal. He seems to have like a lot of personality, and that's basically it, right? He just seems like a dude that I feel like I'd like to hang around with,
Yeah, that's awesome.
We moved on from having a Castlevania segment on every episode to starting a segment about music reviews. I love that. That's good.
Here's a fun fact. The world's 10th largest pyramid is a Bass Pro Shop in Tennessee.
Okay, that is quite a fun fact, I will say.
Yeah.
The world's largest pyramid, you said?
The world's 10th largest pyramid.
10th largest pyramid.
It could be the 9th largest. There's a dispute.
You said I need to see this. You said where? Bass Pro Shop? Where?
It's in Memphis, Tennessee. They built it because it's like named after Memphis, Egypt.
Memphis Pyramid.
I know it's called like the Memphis Pyramid, and it used to be like a sports center, but it kind of bombed.
Shit, dude.
And then Bass Pro took it over, and you can like go swimming, and there's like an archery range. It's like
what
the
ultimate
hell? Bass Pro hotel. It's crazy.
I had no idea Bass Pro was such a large franchise that they could like do something like this, man.
Yeah, I found that out today. Someone said it to me, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
You know what I found out recently? That I guess I never really thought about it, but I found out that Mr. Bean only has 15 episodes. There's only 15 episodes of Mr. Bean ever.
Oh, but there's movies, right? Yeah.
There's movies and there's like one-offs that appear to like other shows and whatever, but like actual Mr. Bean episodes, there's only 15.
Wow, that's interesting because he's so like well known and
exactly that blew popular. That blew my mind. I always assumed that it'd be like a thing that like I don't know, it'd be like a bunch of episodes of at least more than 15.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Like I don't know a show that lived for as long as Mr. Bean only on 15 episodes. You know what I mean? Like fucking Freaks and Geeks and whatever. But like even those, like I don't like Freaks and Geeks is like a cult thing. I don't think it's necessarily like
it's not like Firefly where it's like a legacy due to outrage over cancellation. It's just like it was an active decision to stop, I guess.
Right, exactly. And like exactly right, like Firefly and Freaks and Geeks, they're like a cult thing now. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people even know about them, but like Mr. Bean, I think is a lot more widely regarded.
Yeah, yeah.
And even exactly like it even like spun off movies and spun off cartoons and stuff. So I just found it insane that there's only 15 episodes of it.
And like people in other countries know about him.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like even outside the United Kingdom and stuff.
That is weird.
Have you ever seen any other Rowan Atkinson stuff? Did you ever see any of the spy movies that he made?
No.
Johnny English is called.
Oh, you know what? I have. You're right. I was just like, I'm like, oh, it's Mr. Bean. He's kind of a similar character, except he talks. You know,
except he actually talks. Yeah. But it's still very like slapstick focused and whatever.
Yeah, I did see one of those. It was a good time, but I was kind of younger. I'm sure it's like not some amazing plot, but it's funny.
I'd be curious to see it again to see if it actually holds up now that I'm older and whatever.
Yeah.
I know there was a second one released sometime over the last decade, I think, but I never paid a lot of attention to it.
I remember near the end, he's saved the day and he's going to become knighted. And then he looks up and the queen is actually like a dude and she tries to cut his head off with the sword instead of knighting him. And there's like a whole crazy fight scene at the end. But that's all I remember of it.
I remember there's one scene that he's like walking up some stairs and it's just like someone like shits all over him because he's walking up like a shit chute, I guess, like fucking piping, like bathroom piping or whatever.
Well, that gives a little more context to that.
Yeah.
He just said the stairs.
Oh, sorry, not stairs. I meant a ladder.
Okay.
I get confused because that's like interchangeable in Spanish, right? Like stairs, like the word for stairs and ladders is just like the same one. So
that's kind of weird.
Okay. Now that we've opened like another segment in the show, I guess I'm opening another one. And the National Honduran Soccer League just started this weekend. As we all know, and everyone should know this, even if I brought it up on the show or not, I am a big Real España fan, which is not a very good team. I mean, it's one of like historically like one of the 4 biggest teams, but that doesn't really say much about how good they have been even in the last decade. But they lost today. They lost their first fucking game against the team who finished last in the league.
Oh my god!
In the table last tournament. Yeah, so
that's pretty ass.
It's quite promising, man. It's quite promising. You know.
Hopefully that team just made some adjustments and they're like top tier now.
Yeah, and it's awful too because the dude who scored the goal was the dude who was a forward for Real España all of last year, and he didn't even get a lot of play time. They just didn't even give him a lot of minutes in the game.
It's tragic.
Yeah, so I guess he just moved on to like whatever, like the lesser team, if you will. But
that was like willing to like actually let him, play the game.
Yeah, and then he actually won the game for them today against his fucking old team. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And I hate it. I hate it because,
sting of
betrayal. I hate it because it always happens with Real España, right? They always bring in players with like a lot of hype, and then they don't do anything, and then they move on to another team. And whenever they play against Real España, they have the fucking game of their life, man. I promise you, this shit always happens. Always.
It's cursed.
So they lost today against a team called Real Sociedad, which is I think this is their first year since back in the first division, and they did really poorly. Because so there's relegation and promotion every year. There's just 2 tournaments every year, but like it's like an accumulated table between both tournaments, right? So yeah, they're currently, I believe, still in the bottom, dead in the bottom of the table currently, and then they fucking beat us, which is upsetting. My second favorite team, Vida, though, which is my dad's team, they tied away, which is not a bad result. You know what I mean? They tied 1-1 against a team that's pretty even, I would say.
They should be okay in the standings.
Yeah. It's not. I don't think it's a bad result, right? Like earning a point when you're playing away from home. I don't know. I think it's positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always found that an interesting aspect of soccer is that like it allows for ties. You know what I mean? Like most American sports just refuse that.
Yeah, they'll just go to overtime and have a team win before
they'll play baseball till like 4 a.m. and then call the game for tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. No, that's interesting. I did go. I remember one of the first. So I went to open house at Clark before starting, and I was always interested in like literature. Going to Clark for like literature stuff. So one of the mock classes that I went to was by this professor, who I actually had him during my last semester at Clark, which was a cool sort of like closing circles type thing for me.
Yeah.
The class that I took with him my last semester at Clark was on the short story, but the mock class that I took during open house with him was him talking about like fiction about sports, and he talked about how like there's a lot of like American literature about baseball, and he was talking about how that's interesting. It's an interesting like device for fiction because baseball is a weird sport in that sense, right? That they can just, if a game is tied, they can just literally keep playing forever, right?
Yeah.
If no one breaks through, the game could just last forever. Not only that, but like he was saying something about how like the outfield doesn't really have like a lot of like regulation as to like how wide or open or big it can be. So like you could also just have like an infinite fucking outfield and whatever. He was talking about these kind of details.
True. There you could just say I have $10 billion. I'm going to buy a team and I'm going to make the outfield like miles long in the middle of Arizona, and the home team no one hits over on the whole game.
Yeah, exactly. So, right. I thought it was right. Interesting. It's cool. Like
it is weird how unregulated baseball is for how much money is tied up in it.
Yeah, right.
They're really screwing over the minor leagues too.
True. Yeah.
Which just sucks, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I think every sport should have like a promotion relegation system, especially sports as big as sports are in the United States, like baseball and football and even soccer. I feel like
Yeah.
each of those sports would benefit greatly from promotion relegation, especially considering that it would like remove a lot of like the monopolistic power that the teams have, right? Like one of the reasons why like franchises move so much is because they can just demand the local government to like sponsor like a fucking huge ass stadium for them, and they're like, you know what? We're in Orlando, and Orlando government is not going to sponsor us this stadium. I guess we're going to fucking North Dakota, where they will give us all the money to build this huge ass stadium they want to build, and they'll just fucking go, right? Because there's no promotion relegation system. You know what I mean? Like maybe if there was a promotion relegation system, maybe there'd be a team in North Dakota that could like one day be promoted to first division. So like teams could just not move because, you know, government isn't giving them free money and whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if the government should even be tied up in baseball.
Right, exactly. Like a lot of like tax money goes into that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they also don't, I mean, I don't know if they don't pay any taxes, but they have a weird contract where they're benefiting from their status as an organization.
Right.
Oh, you hear that? Oh, it's that time of the episode once again.
Hot take alert. Okay.
I'd like to go first.
Let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so hot take, wobbling should be banned in Melee competitively.
Excellent.
For a little context, basically the ice climbers can, if they grab you, can just do a series of inputs that is inescapable. So if you get grabbed against ice climbers, you do die very slowly, very boring. You just monotonously someone's hitting the A button rhythmically while you take 2% at a time or whatever, and then you just die. And it's like, okay, not even for, you know, it's not that, power is not the issue. I think it's just not fun or exciting.
It's kind of cheap, yeah.
And so kind of the synthesis of this is, you can call it a sport or whatever, but in an environment with spectators, concession has to be made of the rules for the spectators, like fun and enjoyment. Otherwise,
for entertainment value,
yeah, just so the money doesn't dry up. Because I mean,
right.
Melee's not exactly riding the wave right now.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So I just think you have to, when you're making events for tournaments like this, you can't allow something just because it's not OP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know. I think you have to. And Melee's kind of weird, right? Because we didn't make the game, so it's kind of like you have to impose rules on Melee because you can't mod Melee otherwise.
Yeah, right.
You know, the whole thing's out the window pretty much. It took so long to get like a simple patch that just makes everyone's controller work the same way
properly. Yeah,
you know, and there's like. It's so hard to get it off the ground, so you just kind of have to impose these weird rules.
Right.
But I think ice climbers wobbling is not fun and should not be allowed.
Cool.
Some people think Hungrybox should not be allowed, but that's a different story for a different day.
No, I like Hungrybox. He's my favorite one. But I do sorely dislike the ice climbers.
Yes,
I think they're super annoying, and so. I think they should be banned just in general.
If you ban wobbling, like
you're pretty much banning the character.
Yeah.
Has there been any Melee stuff going on, dude, that you haven't informed me of? Because you don't inform me ever.
Just to give some context, there's been more places that have banned wobbling, but it's like a weird case-to-case thing right now because there's no like national Melee committee.
Okay.
I would say cool Melee stuff coming up right now is Smash Summit. And what is that tournament called?
Oh, Evo?
No, we're not allowed at Evo anymore. Genesis 7, that's it.
Oh, I've never heard of that. I've never even heard of that.
It's like the not Evo.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so yeah, cool. That and Smash Summit 9 should be super hype. There's there's still a lot of like up and comers in Melee, to be fair. Some young people coming in.
Okay.
So there's still exciting storylines, and Leffen might actually come back, so we'll see some hype matches.
Excellent. Please keep me updated, because the only way, the only means that I have of keeping up with it is through you.
Right. There's literally no other way to find out.
Keep me updated. I do enjoy watching the tournaments and stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't even know that I should talk about my hot take anymore. Yeah, I think I'll pass. For now.
Okay.
We've had like a rather wholesome episode, I think. So I think it's just be.
Yeah, besides like the Pro Jared stuff.
Yeah, but even that is just weird because Pro Jared, whatever, right?
Yeah. Fuck him.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. Do you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, dude, I don't think I can't quite think of anything. So I guess for now, Matthew, what have we learned today, man?
We learned that Will Smith is not the man he once was, or perhaps the man he was just pretending to be. He's a shell of his former self.
Right. Good. I like that. Any closing remarks, man?
I still haven't played Order of Ecclesia, so I'm gonna say it's not good enough to keep me interested.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, dude, it's been a great time to be recording with you.
Yeah, this was a fun one.
And be sure to tune in next week when we'll be talking about my old wallet that I've lost with a lot of like valuable information in it, and I don't know how this is going to affect my future.
Oh yeah, right. That is on the schedule here.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, I hope everyone has a good time listening to this. I hope everyone had a good time listening to this episode, and I hope everyone is happy.
Yeah. See you.